it's Jennifer Harding Marlin. Given that I'm based in the Caribbean, I often get asked whether or not going to medical school in the Caribbean is worth it, and what do I know about going to medical school in the Caribbean, and if I can provide more of my perspective. So I myself have not gone to medical school in the Caribbean. I do have an interest in sciences, having studied a background in science, although I have not attended medical school at all. I do have friends and I do know people that have attended medical school in both Canada and in the Caribbean, and I can share a little bit more of my thoughts about Caribbean medical school. So there's different medical schools in the Caribbean. There's medical schools in St. Martin, Aruba, Saba, which is an island really close to where I am right now, St.Kitts Nevis, Grenada. Pretty much a lot of the Caribbean islands have medical schools. Some countries even have 2 international medical schools. So people can come for approximately 2 years and do their local theoretical studies before then they go on to the UK, the US, or Canada to do rotations and further their medical studies. So some observations that I have is that unfortunately a lot of students fail out of medical school in the Caribbean. Unlike in Canada, where sort of like once you're in the medical program, they do everything to assist you and to make sure that you get through the program. And there's a lot of support. A lot of the medical schools in the Caribbean are for profit. So there's less incentive to make sure that you get through the program, and a lot of the learning and studying you'll need to do on your own, as opposed to being, I guess you could say, more spoon-fed or more having more assistance throughout the program. And I know that some people, I think they're allowed to fail a course once or fail 2 courses, and once you've failed twice, then you are sort of what's called dismissed from medical school. And unfortunately, some people can get easily through the first 1 or first 3 semesters, and then they experience difficulty, or some people experience difficulty from the beginning. Compared to Canada, going to medical school in the Caribbean is a lot more expensive than it is in Canada. However, having spoken to a lot of Americans and being friends with some people from the US, just coming to the Caribbean is a lot cheaper to attend medical school, and the cost of living in some of the islands is less than in the US, and therefore some people have chosen to come and study in the US. A lot of specialties, I'm not really familiar. I'm not a medical expert by any means, but my understanding is that there's certain specialties for medicine that are more likely to be given to people that have done their degrees in the US or Canada, for example. So like if you're interested in some sort of specialty like cardiology, ophthalmology, orthopedics, other specialties, I'm not quite familiar, but more of the high-paying specialties and the specialties that involve like a very high level and very few people that do it are more likely to go to candidates in the US and Canada, at least from my understanding and from having spoken to other people. And more general doctors will be produced that have gone to the Caribbean. So having been friends with some people that have unfortunately didn't make it, and other people that have, some people really enjoyed the experience of being on the island and absolutely loved the tranquility of the Caribbean lifestyle and just being in the Caribbean and being able to study in the Caribbean. I don't think it's for everybody, but if medical school is really your passion, there are a lot of different opportunities in the Caribbean. You'd probably be best to prepare in advance and to make sure that you are always like eating healthy, exercising, making sure your mental health, making sure you have the finances or trying to arrange the finances for medical school, since it is quite costly. But and so how this relates to citizenship by investment, since this channel talks a lot about citizenship by investment, is that many people wonder if getting a second passport, sorry, my hand is shaking from holding the camera, if getting a passport through citizenship by investment will increase their chances to getting into medical school. So it will not necessarily increase your chances to getting into a Caribbean medical school, although some people are doing citizenship by investment because they think it will increase their child's chances in getting into Harvard or other schools where they can say that they also hold a citizenship from a Caribbean country. I don't know to what extent that is applicable, or if that will increase your chances. Like I don't know. I don't think it does, but maybe it does. And oh yeah, and for costs, like for example, if you're a citizen of Antigua and you go to the medical school in Antigua, will you have a reduced tuition? Oftentimes the answer is no, but maybe. So just by getting citizenship by investment doesn't necessarily mean you'll have reduced costs at the medical school, although you might. So that would have to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. So I thought I'd just make this video since a lot of people have been asking me about this over the past little while, and I thought I'd like to just express my thoughts. And do your own research, like anything, like if you're going to do citizenship by investment with us, or whatever you're going to do, whatever investment you're going to do, really like do your own research and make sure that it is the decision that you want and that it's the best decision for you. All the best. Bye for now.